Hello guys, welcome to the video on SOBJECTS. Before we get started with what is SOBJECT, let's understand that Apex is a tightly integrated language to the Salesforce database. That means we can access fields and the records in our Apex code. To do so, we have SOBJECTs. SOBJECTs में भी दो types होते हैं, that is specific SOBJECTs and generic SOBJECTs. So first we will understand what is a specific object. Specific हम तब बोलेंगे when we are trying to create a variable, object variable of standard or a custom object. Like the object like account object already exists. My custom object here, as you can see, already exists in our org. In that case, we can use specific object. And to instantiate that variable, we have this syntax here. So here what we have done is we have created a variable of standard as object account, and we can access the field by using dot notation like that. Okay, when we create a new instance, we can actually give value at the time of instantiation also. To do so, we have this syntax, and here this account is simply the constructor of account object that is telling to set the name value to ACME. Okay, this is another example which is giving more values at the time of instantiation. Similarly, we can do the same in case of custom objects. Like I have a custom object, my custom underscore underscore c. We have to append it with underscore underscore c that tells it is a custom object. So xyz here is the SOBJECT variable of my custom object. Okay, so that's all about specific SOBJECT. Let's jump to generic SOBJECT. What is generic SOBJECT and when we might need to use it? So when we are not sure that what type of object a method will return, in that case we will need to use the generic SOBJECT variable. But when you try to create a generic SOBJECT variable, you have to do a concrete object name while creating the generic SOBJECT, and that is the syntax to do so. But and when it is like having that creation done, we can use the put method to put the name and like this and get the values from its field. Okay, but let's say I have a generic SOBJECT variable, my generic SOBJECT, that we got from any method. So in that case, we need to cast it to a specific SOBJECT type. To do so, we have this syntax here. What we are doing is we are casting the generic SOBJECT variable into a specific account SOBJECT, and we got it as ACCT1. Now here we can use the dot notation to access the value. We can also do like instantiation at the time of creation like this. Note that when we create a SOBJECT variable in our Apex code, that doesn't means that the record is created in the Salesforce database. To do that, we need to use the DML operations. DML is nothing but data manipulation language that we can insert a record, update a record, or make any kind of manipulations with record in the Salesforce database. That's all about SOBJECTs.